Okay, I have a video. I'm making a video, and I'm sorry, it'll probably be about 15 minutes. And I will turn it into a blog post because I feel like it's really important. And so I've noticed, right, a lot of people are feeling their feelings intensely. Okay, so I know a lot of people who are angry. I know a lot of people who are depressed. I know a lot of people who are lonely, right? And I think that that's because of sort of disenchantment. And I'll explain this, right? And I'm only driving through my apartment complex, so don't freak out. The thing is, it's like we all want love, right? A lot of people say that they want someone to share it with. They want love. And I feel like that's not the right word. I've had 2 conversations that have helped me piece this together. Okay? The right word is comfort, right? This love that we're saying that we want is really based off of nature versus nurture, what it is we're consuming in society, what we've been told, this is blah blah blah. So you have these Hollywood movies, and oh my god, and like we understand now that that's unrealistic, that's never gonna necessarily happen. You can't we're disenchanted with that, right? Sorry about the scraping. So we're disenchanted with that, right? And but we want it, but we also know that that's not really what it looks like. But we have there aren't a lot of great examples of what it is, right? We kind of understand we want that feeling, but the package that they're wrapping it up in is absolutely wrong, and it's not producing the feeling that it is we all want to have. Because what we're missing is comfort. A fireplace, a warm blanket, a hot cup of tea or coffee or whatever that is, that comfort, that cozy, right? That kind of personification of love, if I had to strip it away. And that happens because I related it, my friends and I, the 2 different conversations, and one of them, it was like, right, we're not perfect. Nothing is ever perfect. It's not, the world doesn't work that way. And so deep down, and we know that, and this is how we get there, right? I know I'm not perfect. As a house, right? I may weed eat my yard. I may do all this stuff. It may look nice, but I know deep down I'm not perfect. I know at my core that I'm not always behaving and responding the way that I feel is the most loving and kind, because that's really important to me. I want to be genuine. I want to be authentic. I want to have poise and grace. I want to be kind. I think we all want to be kind, and we just don't know how, and we're frustrated, and we get caught up in that shit. And so, because I'm not perfect, and we judge the world, we use ourselves to judge the world to make sense of our reality, we know that it can never be perfect. There is no such thing as perfect, right? We keep thinking about it in the wrong terms. And then a lot of people use that as a weapon, or not a weapon, but as a defense, right? In a yard, they have all these weeds. Well, nothing's ever perfect, or whatever makes their weeds grow, okay? And where I focus on my yard and I try to weed eat my shit, I'm trying to take care of my shit, and whatever, you can be however you want, just not in my yard, right? Whatever, but not in my yard. And I have a friend who's whatever, but not in my neighborhood, right? That's how she relates it. And I was telling her, I said that the thing with that is the weeds you're trying to pick, right? Because you worked on your yard. Granted, your yard is nice, and there are flowers, and there's all this stuff. The person when you cross the street and you try to weed eat somebody else's yard, they look right past your shoulder at your yard and go like, right? You can't, because I know I'm not perfect. You can't you're not perfect. Quit touching my, and that's the problem. You can't weed eat somebody else's yard. You pull their weeds, they grow right back, because that is their defensive mechanism. They have those weeds for a reason, and only they can get rid of the weeds. And it's kind of like those people who put up walls, and you're standing out by the gate going like, I would love to, could you get out here and like bushwhack some of this shit so that I can get to your front door? Like, You have to do it. If I do it, they're just going to grow back. They're just going to grow back, and they'll probably be thicker and stronger, because that's usually how that works. And so you can't do it for other people, but we have no examples. We don't have a lot of examples of it for ourselves, right? It's we know what we want, and we're trying to attain a feeling, and we all want that sort of comfort, but there's not. Everything's a mess because everybody's at different stages in their journey, right? And because they're at different stages in their journeys, it takes all kinds of people. You're not ever going to have a pristine neighborhood. It doesn't work that way because not everybody is like me, right? Because if everything was perfect, everybody would be like me. I wouldn't have to guess. Well, how boring would that be, right? But it takes, everybody's at a different stage in their journey. And so, I may not be other people's gardeners right now. There may be somebody else who can do that. And we try to find the answers, I feel like, with so many different ways. But what we're not doing is appreciating how other people show kindness, and we do it in different ways. So my friend and I. So when it comes to ourselves, I focus on my yard, right? I don't judge other people's yards because my yard isn't pristine. I have no right to judge other people's yards. But when you take a step back from that, right? She and I flip-flop. And I come in and say, like, yeah, I can't weed eat your yard, right? But I can be an example in a way. I focus, when it comes to other people, I focus on the neighborhood, and she focuses on the yard. And she is like, if we were different types of light, she is a love light. She's a loving light. She's a giant beacon, and it just emanates off of her. And when you're around her, you just feel it. We were talking about in a hospital, I'm like a triage nurse. I'm a guiding light. I'm an emotional triage nurse. I'm out there, I run out and I go, calm down, calm down, calm down. It's all going to be okay, right? Where she's like she works in the fertility clinic somewhere, right? She is, if I'm Athena, like she's Mother Earth. But like a sassy one, right? But we both have the same goals. And the same goals is to show decency and love and to make conscious choices, to make these choices instead of just reacting, instead of just getting caught up in an emotion and reacting to something, taking a minute and going, do I really feel that way? Is that very fair? Now, I do that because I feel guilty for judging other people. I cannot say shit about other people's yards when my yard isn't taken care of. That's just how I am, and it's just how I feel, and that's just how I work. And so I try to offer kindness and comfort, like, yeah, our yards kind of suck, but, let's just keep doing this, And it takes all kinds of people. And so we're so apt to say that a lot of times, because of all this garbage we're fed all the time, all this unnecessary garbage that gunks up the works, we're so apt to say that, well, look, my way may not be your way, but it is a right way. I feel like the self-help industry is getting there. I feel like they kind of understand that everybody's different and unique, and so I call them emotional languages, right? We speak a language, but we also speak an emotional language, depending on where we're at in the journey of our lives and the understanding of our perspectives at those stages. And everybody speaks a different emotional language, and they're just as varied as languages. And so it's a matter of, with me, I'm always trying to decipher that. I like people who are genuine, because then I know what I'm working with, and I know how to speak better, to not necessarily give aha moments, but to give a little bit of clarity, as much as I can. And I try to do that per person, that, everybody I meet. I'm just be genuine. I want genuine. You can say and do whatever you want. Not going to judge you for it. My yard is not pristine, but just give me genuine. And it helps us both navigate so that we can both kind of heal. And that's the thing. Because it's like you have hurt and you have anger and you have depression, right? And you get frustrated because you feel like people don't see you or don't hear you or nobody understands you, right? And a lot of times we're not drawing our maps very well. Because I lead with my heart, I expect I can, because I only have my perspective of growing up. It's only ever how I see and what I interpret in my perspective of something. I make natural assumptions that people are like me, that they feel like me, and whatever. And the feelings are the same, but the thing that causes them differ from person to person. And so we're all, instead of, you're going to hurt, right? You're already hurting. You're already suffering. Why not draw a better map? If somebody does something that you don't like, you have every right, in a kind way, to say, like, I really appreciate that, but like right now I'm just kind of a mess and I know I'm not always making sense. And so you're accountable for yourself. And, I will let you know what I need as I figure it out. Sometimes I may just need a hug. Sometimes I may need a kind word. Sometimes I may just need silence. It's, and it's having, when you work on yourself, you're sort of building that framework, but we have to remember to also communicate it to other people. And you can't control how other people receive your information. So they may overreact. They may be hurt. They may whatever, right? But that's their own journey. The only thing you can be is authentic and to yourself, genuine for yourself. It's a better roadmap. People, just like kids. Kids like rules. They need rules. It makes them feel safe. That's called tough love, right? Sometimes you have to do the thing that's hard. Sometimes you have to punish them in a way that you may not like, that you don't necessarily want to do, but it creates a safety for them because they know you mean what you say. Okay? That's why you don't threaten a child with a punishment and then never do the punishment. You have to follow through, or your words hold no weight and no meaning, and even you can't believe them, right? So much happens on the inside. So you have to help people navigate you by being genuine. And so many people fear, they don't want to look at their own imperfections. When she goes over to weed eat somebody's yard, they're leaning over their shoulder, and her yard may be like pristine, but her porch is falling down, or the shutters. It's not. You'll never achieve perfect. So quit expecting it from other people. And I don't think that we do, but we have these expectations. And we're all lost and bumping around into each other because we all want comfort. We all want comfort and we're not sure how to get it. And I feel that's where I come in, because I'm good at speaking emotional languages. And if you give me enough time to listen and kind of get to know you, I can help us both. Because when I, by helping other people, I help myself, or by helping myself, I help other people. Just like there are circles that put you in shit, there are circles that like elevate you. My grandpa hated hospitals. He avoided them. So where did he end up? A hospital. It's, you create the thing that you fear. So quit fearing it and start defining it so that you can elevate rather than sink. And I think that that's really important. And we all do things differently and uniquely, and we need to learn how to appreciate those and not say that, well, because it's not my way, it's wrong, right? You have to be able to objectively step outside yourself, and sometimes objectively, because we're human, right? We're human. Our bodies run and work a certain way. We're like a program, and we can see that it's not working. We feel that it's not working. I think right now a lot of us are all just caught up in these feelings. And a lot of people don't know how to, I don't know what love feels like. Well, that's not true. There's an example of it somewhere in your life. You've felt that feeling. It may be associated with a different word, which is why words are important. So take gratitude, anything that you're trying to, if you can feel it somewhere else. And you have to celebrate your small things. You celebrate the things about yourself that you like. To start with, right? So it did cause pain. I always liked the fact I liked about myself that I was reasonable. Now, it also can suck, because I'm not being responsible. I wasn't being responsible with it. But I'm reasonable, and I don't think that that's a bad thing. So I would kind of go like, but at least I'd pat myself on the back for I'm reasonable. That's something I like about myself. That's something that I don't think is a bad thing. And give yourself what I call those like little small wins. You have to give yourself those small wins. That's a decent thing, or that's a beautiful thing, And if you can't do it for yourself, like in the other videos, then you do it for you sit down and think about your friends and what it is you admire about your friends. And once you can admire it in them, you can start to admire it in yourself, and everything sort of works like that. And it's sort of how you reprogram. Or not reprogram, just get all the muck out of the gears. All this shit we've been taught to think is what these words mean. Because a lot of us don't stop to think. When somebody says a word to me, I'm trying to understand what perspective they mean that word, because they're so, a lot like the movie in Arrival, right? A shape and how it means 50 million different things. We're like that too, but we try to keep it so linear. And you can control with words. You control your feelings, your emotions. Words and what you associate them with are very important. But we just use them so flippantly. We just assume that everybody knows how we mean them. And more than often, that's not the case, because everybody's so different. Because we've all had different experiences, and we all perceive the world from within ourselves and judge it against ourselves. That's what we use. And so we're not even being kind. We're not even being kind and comforting ourselves. And I think that's where that's got to start. And that's why you celebrate those wins. And you have got to give yourself a little bit of leeway. Yeah, maybe this time I messed up a little, but I'm aware of it, right? I'm aware of it now. So I'll try to, that's not who I want to be as a person. I can't wait for other people to stop and fix it for me. A long time, it's like, oh, I need somebody to show me. I need someone to help me. I need this stuff. And that's true, but not. I don't think that, sorry for the zipper. It doesn't get shown, right? It doesn't get shown. This is why it doesn't get shown. And I feel like my job is to give comfort, kindness. Comfort and kindness. Just be genuine with me, and it's healing. I won't judge you for it. And I think more people need to be that way, especially with themselves. Stop judging yourself. Stop being so hard on yourself, because it makes the world hard around you. Right? You have got to forgive yourself when you fail, because you can't be perfect. Accept the fact that there is no perfect. You will never achieve perfect. It doesn't work that way, right? But I also believe that humans have amazing creative power, and I think that being human, having the opportunity to be human, and is to learn a responsibility with emotions, to learn responsibility for that creative power. I don't know. That gets into a whole other thing, but you worry about, help make the neighborhood pretty, but somebody's going to have junk in their yard. Some people are going to have weeds, and it may not be you that needs to help pull them. Not everybody is perfect for you, but they're perfect for someone else, because we're all at different stages in our journey, and we need to stop judging people so harshly because we judge ourselves so harshly. I think I'm worth loving. I think that I'm a decent person. I'm not a malicious person. I'm a very open person. I don't believe in jealousy. There's a lot of, I know I'm very hard to, in some ways I'm very hard to love, and in other ways I'm very easy to love. And I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Yeah. I've realized that, and that's okay. That's okay with me, because I believe that people should be shown comfort, And I think that if it trips up something and it creates some kind of tightness in your chest, that's your insecurity, not mine. And I'm tired of kind of hiding that. It's not, I don't want to hide that anymore. I'm tired of hiding it because too many people need it. And it doesn't mean I'm falling in love and I want to go get married or any of that. It just means that people deserve comfort. My friends deserve comfort. The people, and that's the thing. I would comfort the world if I could. I would hug the world if I could. But it's got to start somewhere. So I start with the people within my circle. And I that's really important to me. And so when other people try to control that in me, it stifles me. It makes me feel, I start to get upset. I start to get a little depressed. I stop believing in myself a little bit. I start believing their opinion of me. And that's a horrible thing to do. Because who is anybody to tell me what I am? I'm not malicious. I don't hurt people with intention. My intention is to comfort them. I don't know. But I'm sorry, it was 21 minutes. But I feel like that's really important. And it will be a blog post, but that one's going to take me, this is 21 minutes, and that's going to take me 2 to 3 hours. And I have work today, and I might be able to get to it tonight, but realistically, probably tomorrow. And I just wanted to get this out there because I feel like so many people need it. So, yeah, comfort. Let's go beyond. Let's do comfort. Let's show comfort. I think that would be really healing.